All right, so did you know that 70% of Americans dream of owning their own business, but most never actually take the leap because they're afraid of quitting their day job? Well, today I'm going to show you how you can start a successful business while keeping your job, so that way you don't have to choose between stability and entrepreneurship. So let's dive in and discover the best businesses you can start without giving up the comfort that you have now. All right, business number one is really simple and I think really high leverage in its coaching and consulting. The reality is you can literally take the current skill sets that you have now and you can apply that to having some sort of coaching or consulting service. And so whether that's coaching and consulting B2C, meaning your business to a consumer, or B2B, your business to another business, you're able to offer your area of expertise. And so that's one of the businesses that I started in making videos on YouTube and helping people figure out what sort of business to start. Initially, I just started out as a general business coach, but it's really high leverage. And with this sort of business, you could potentially fully replace your income really on a part-time basis, depending upon what you charge, how you charge, and how it is that you structure your service. And so this doesn't even necessarily have to be something in the work that you're doing now, but maybe you have a current skill set, right, that you have on the side. And so maybe you know how to edit videos as an example, or maybe you know how to build websites. And so you're able to do those things on the weekends or in your free time or whatever it is, and you can generate additional cash flow and revenue and money. And for some of you, you may go, look, I don't even want to have a full-time business. I just want to make a little bit of some money on the side, have a side hustle to be able to go do fun things. Number two is freelance work. This piggybacks on the coaching and consulting business that we talked about. So, there are websites like OnlyFans, no, I'm just kidding, Fiverr, Upwork. There's all sort of freelance websites out there where you can offer your skills on a project basis. So whether you're a writer, a designer, a programmer, you're really good with administrative tasks, you can build out websites, you can do video editing, any of these different things, you could literally go on these websites and see what people are posting, jobs for, what opportunities are out there, what sort of money can be paid. And some of these things people charge, $50, $100, $200 an hour, or maybe $500 for a project that, creates a great outcome for the person that's hiring them, but only takes a few hours to actually do. So there's all sorts of opportunities out there. What you'll find that figuring out ways to earn extra income, it's really just about being resourceful. And so what happens is that we just get stuck. We get caught up in our routine. We're not really thinking about solutions and going out there and being proactive and figuring out like, hey, if I wanted to make an extra $2,500 this month, how would I go about doing that? Like, what could I do, in order to generate that money? And it may not be easy. It may not happen overnight. You may have some obstacles first, but as long as you persevere, if it's something that you're committed to, then you'll figure out a way to make it work. And that's the whole key with this whole thing of figuring out a way to make some money, on the side while you have a full-time job. It's just a matter of commitment. Most people are interested in doing things, though the difference between a level of interest and a level of commitment are extreme. When you're only interested, any sort of inconvenience, challenge, adversity will stop you right in your tracks. When you're committed, you will figure out a way no matter what the circumstances are. All right, number three is one of my favorites. It's owning a franchise. So if you're not familiar with franchises and the way that they work, well, for me, this is actually what helped me transition to full-time entrepreneurship. I had started 9 different side hustles and businesses that I was trying to build when I had my full-time job. And there was even a time or two where I actually went all in and was just trying to build my business, barely making any money at all, just really trying to figure it out. And what happened was, while I was working as a financial advisor, I had my investment licenses for a long time, my wife and I decided to buy a franchise. And really the franchise helped me experience my first win and success in business. We did just shy of $500,000 in sales that first year. And although we only generated about $60,000 in profit and wasn't going to be able to support our whole family on it, but it allowed me to experience my first win in business without having to figure everything out on my own. Franchising offered a proven business model, a brand that had recognition, and just a blueprint to follow and a support system from the franchisor that had a vested interest in my success. And so what happened was, after we signed our franchise agreement, the franchisor literally gave us step-by-step exactly what needed to be done. They helped us find the location for the business. They connected us with an architect. They helped us through our lease negotiation. They helped us find a general contractor to build out our store. They had a plan on, here's the type of people that you need to hire. Here's how many people you need to hire. Then they came out and they trained those employees before we were going to open. It really made it super helpful. And so although, yeah, there was a lot of hard work in the beginning, what happened was I was then able to work my job while I had this franchise business and hired a manager and put that manager in place. Now, there are over 4,000 different franchise brands out there. And for a lot of people, finding the right franchise and good franchises that match with their skill sets, that are still available in their area, and that have the right profit potential can be really hard and overwhelming. And the reality is that out of the 4,000 franchise brands, 80% of them suck and are bad, and you should stay away from. So what I've done is, to make life easier for you, me and my team, we created a 17-page PDF on 5 low-cost franchise businesses that all make $1 million or more. And so my gift to you is you can go ahead and grab that for free. So you can go to franchiseempire.com/low cost, or you can click the link in the description below. That way it will save you a ton of time, heartache, and potentially money by, if you bought the wrong franchise. All right, the last grouping of businesses is what I would call weekend side hustles. So these are the more labor-intensive or service sort of businesses. So as an example, you could do something like a landscaping business. And this is something that has low barrier to entry, right? These weekend businesses are the low barrier to entry businesses. So, imagine that you went out and figured out 5 people that you could mow their lawn. A couple different ways that you can do this too. You can go out and secure the business and say, okay, we'll mow your lawn for, $50 every time, and then you can outsource it. You can find someone who maybe would do it. You pay them $20 and you make the spread of 30, and you're not actually doing any of the work, right? Or you could be actually producing and doing the work. And the cool thing is that landscaping is something that you can get potentially a high return. If you learn and invest in how to do projects like retaining walls or, actual projects where you're charging a flat fee, you can potentially make a good margin. Maybe you do something like dog walking or dog training or tutoring, power washing. There's all of these great businesses that, what I call weekend businesses that really require very minimal startup costs and can easily fit into your schedule. And so that's one of the things that I did when I was a young kid. I worked at Ace Hardware. I started out making $6 an hour at Ace Hardware, which is a franchise, by the way. If you didn't know that, most people think of all food franchises. Ace Hardware is a franchise. It worked out perfectly because the owner of the Ace Hardware, who would work in the store, he was fine with me getting clients and customers in the store. So I started a landscaping business. And so I would go mow people's lawns and build retaining walls. And I remember one time I got this commercial job for $4,000, which at the age of 18, $4,000 was the most astronomical amount of money. I mean, you could have told me that someone was going to give me $100,000 today is how I perceived $4,000 back then as an 18-year-old. So I landed this $4,000 commercial job, and I was able to hire a few of my buddies, paid them $10 an hour, which, at that time, almost 20 years ago, $10 an hour was a lot of money. It was inflation related, probably 17, 18, maybe even $20 an hour now. So they helped me do the project. It took me a quarter of the time it might have taken me if I were to try to do all the work by myself, and I had a nice hefty profit after doing that job. And so I think ultimately at the end of the day, making money while you have a job really does come down to the commitment level. And I think when you're doing something that's more so of a extra side hustle, it really is about doing something that you potentially enjoy doing, right? Because at that point, maybe you're not trying to make a boatload of money, and it's just doing something where it's it doesn't feel like work. And so at the time, I loved mowing lawns. I loved the smell of the fresh cut grass. I liked getting a workout. I just enjoyed enjoyed the manual labor overall. It felt good, I felt productive, and it was a workout overall. So for you, what's that thing that you could do where it wouldn't feel like work? So although maybe in addition to the whatever 40 or 50 hours you're working currently, you're able to spend another 10 or 15 hours a week, but you enjoy doing it. So once you start making money in some of these side hustles that you're working, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. So in this video, I talk about some of the best investments that you can make to double your money so you can continue to grow and build your wealth. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. While you're there, hit the like button, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.